All right, brothers, this is going to be a different kind of video. This is a testimony type of video. And I'm going to be as honest as I can be, as brutally honest as I can be, which I normally am anyway. But I'm going to be as brutally honest with you as I can in this video. I'm going to speak candidly and bluntly. And for you women that hear this, if it doesn't apply to you, just disregard it. For you brothers out there, you young men, listen carefully and try to learn from other brothers' mistakes. All right, I'm going to say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. This lesson will be entitled, Lord Willing, a Child Support Testimony. Lord Willing, with the subtitle of Child Support Testimony. And I guess I'll start in the beginning. I received this letter a little while ago, right? Probably a month ago, about a court date that I had appeared to involving child support. You can see some of it on the screen right here. I'm not worried about you seeing it because I blacked out all the important, vital stuff as far as my name, the court that it was, and all these different things. But you see, I had to be there. Today's date is what? April 5th, 2023. Had to be there at 10:30 a.m. Right? Now, for the past, I'd say 3 weeks, this has been heavy on my mind. And, to put it in short, I've been struggling with this child support shit ever since. Shit, man. I'm a 50-year-old man right now. So since I was around 21 years old, which was when my first son was born, 21 years old, right? So that's what, 29 years? Now you may say to yourself, well, you're only supposed to pay till you're 18. Well, this is true. This is true, but I have another son who's 2 years younger than my oldest son. He's about 27. So you got one 28 and one is 28, about to be 29, or just turned 29, and the other one just turned 27. Two grown men with their own families, okay? And over the period of time, I've struggled with this stuff since I was a young man, now to this age, which really I hadn't really struggled with it these last, probably once. By the time I got 35, the older I got, the less I struggled with it because I made more money, right? I made more money. But the struggle is this. Those boys are grown men now, and I'm still being saddled with this. Excuse me. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, or Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Anyway, going on. Now, you may say in your mind, why is this man still paying this child support? Well, it's simple. When you're a young dude, you make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes you are between jobs. So over the years, I got behind whenever I moved. Whenever I relocated, whenever I lost jobs, and jobs are tough to find and different things happen, you get behind. So then you have what's called arrears, which is your past due or your late payments, right? And it accumulates over a period of time, and then you have a balance. So even after your children get old, so what they do is they take all your arrears and they push it to the end, and they keep you paying current child support. While you're paying child support, depending on the state that you live in, if you should suddenly be without work, right? Be out of work, can't find a job, you're not making a lot of money, this, that, or the other, right? What they do is you're running tab, or you have a running tab, which means it's continuing to run. Let's say, for example, you get injured, and you have to go in the hospital for a period of time. While you're in the hospital, you're not making any money. They are charging you every week, every month, a running tab on you. So when you do go back to work, all those payments you missed, they get pushed to the back, and you pay current child support. In my case, I had to pay current child support for a while and arrears. So they would take a certain portion and put it to arrears, a certain portion, for current. So that's the reason why I'm 50 years old and I'm still paying, because I had a whole lot of arrears. And I don't care if you say, oh, you should have paid, whatever you people can come up with to say. I don't give a fuck, because you ain't me, you ain't lived my life, you don't know what's been going on. I'm not making excuses, because I got a great record of paying. I got a payment booklet, right, or copies of all my payments that I've made, and I have made so many payments because I'm a worker, right? I always have a job, always keep a job, sometimes work 2 jobs, depending on where I live. So outside of teaching the truth, I always paid and I have a trade, where I made good money for the most part. Not all the time, but for the most part. So I've always paid, and I saw those boys grow up and they had everything that I paid child support, but I also still did extra stuff that fathers do. Now, so lock you for the rent. Now I'm going to say this. When I got this paper that I had to appear before the judge because I had missed some payments, I won't front, with the pandemic, different stuff going on, situations come up. So I got further behind, right? And then suddenly I get this letter and I got to appear before the judge. Now, since I've been paying child support, I've never had to appear before a judge, and I've heard horror stories of it, and they've been very scary. You can see by the language in this letter, very scary stuff. And I was all worried, thinking that these people might try to toss my ass in jail. And I ain't even did shit wrong. These boys are grown men with their own families, but what it is, it's the mother. It's their sorry ass mama, or one of them sorry ass mama who just keep going up there to the place telling the people she ain't getting this, she's not getting that. Even after the boys are grown, she's dependent upon my money. So this is what caused all this ruckus. I have to drag my ass up there, go to court, and I haven't been sleeping all that much lately because I was worried about this shit. Anyway, sorry to, drag all that on. I just want to get this out because after, when I started getting the feeling, I didn't know what to expect. I'm thinking I'm going to go before this judge. And this was family court. I'm thinking I'm going to go before this judge. You know how judges can be. They can be very temperamental. So even though sometimes when you should get let off, they might have an attitude that day. They might toss your ass in jail. They might try to make an example out of you. All these different things. Now in the back of my mind, I'm saying, yeah, I got Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I'm going to be all right. Everything going to be good. But when you in the truth, you understand that anytime the Most High can punish you. And it don't have to be for something you're doing currently. You can do everything right now, but the Lord can still bring judgment on you or punishment on you. And none of us are above judgment or punishment. So this is where the Lord willing comes in. Let's read a couple of scriptures, Salakia for the ramble, but I had to get that out. So first we're going to read James chapter 4, verse 4. Now in these past few weeks, when I knew I had to go to this court, I'm wrestling with it in my mind. Part of my mind is, saying, don't worry about it. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai going to deliver you. You got this. Everything is great. The other part of me is saying, but what if he's punishing you? What if he's unhappy with you about something? He's going to make you suffer, right? That's the other part of my mind. And then people around me are making plans. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. My mind wouldn't go past today and make plans and say, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that, because I was saying to myself, I can't make plans because I don't know what the Lord has planned. The old saying, if you want to make the Most High laugh, tell him what you got planned. So this is the Lord willing. This is James 4 verse 13. It says, go to now ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. You don't say, I'm going to go do this, then after I do that, I'm going to go do this over here. And it's going to tell you the reason why. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. So you have to constantly say, Lord willing. And I found myself saying, Lord willing, if this shit blows over, I'm gonna be good. Now I had every reason to believe I would come out of it on a good note, but I know how these systems can be. I know we in Babylon the Great, and you can fuck around and get fucked over. And the Most High might allow it because he may be punishing you, or he may be doing something in your life. And I'm happy to say that that wasn't the case. If you're seeing this video, you understand that that wasn't the case, and there was a deliverance. This is Proverbs 27:1. It says, boast not thyself of tomorrow. Don't brag about what you're going to do tomorrow. Don't talk about where you're going to be, because you don't know where you're going to be. You say, Lord willing, we shall live and do this or that. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. You don't know what the Lord is going to do in your life. You can say you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that, but if the Lord say you're going to do something different, then you're not going to do what you had planned. The NLT says, don't brag about tomorrow, since you don't know what the day will bring. NIV, do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. and it's very plain and easy to understand. Now I'm going to go back to the story. So in these last few weeks, I've been very unwilling to say, you know, hey, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna make these plans over here. Now, one thing the Lord did do, I was able to get a phone number from one of the ladies that was names was on this letter, and I was able to have a conversation with her. And through that conversation, she told me that 9 times out of 10, when it's one of these situations, you ain't got to worry about going to jail or nothing like that, because really all they want to do is establish contact with you, get your work info, and get your payments back going. This is what they want. But if you ignore this letter and you do not show up to court, they will issue a bench warrant, which means anytime you come in contact with law enforcement and your name comes up, you will be taken to jail. So I had to make sure I got myself to, to court. I had to miss work, of course, but they give you an excuse for work, leading us to the next part. So I went in there not knowing what to expect, but I was a little bit relieved, and I knew about my payment history, and I've never been the type to skip out on the payments. It's just from those young man mistakes caused me to get behind, right? Those young man mistakes, the shit that come up in Babylon, all the trials, tribulations, different shit you go through, these things caused me to be behind. Now, let's go to the next part. So when you deal with this child support shit, you brothers out there, you young men, you listen up and you listen good. You may think that your baby mother loves you, you got a child, or you think you're with a chick, you're with a lady and you think she loves you, right? You consider having a baby with her. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not being a hypocrite because I did it, but it was always my mind to never have a child with a woman that I wasn't married to, I wasn't with. But even if you are married, it's even more of a snare. It is more of a snare. This child support system has enabled these women to have children with various men and reap the benefits in the form of child support. Now they'll tell you, right? They'll tell you that it's you're supposed to pay child. No, you're not. You're supposed to have your children with you, and you're supposed to take care of them. This is true, but you're not supposed to throw money up into the air and give it to some bitch that you're no longer with, so she can go get her hair and her nails done, or so she can go pay, do whatever she want to do. Meanwhile, your child goes without in a lot of cases. Not every woman does this, but for the most part, this is what you see. You see a lot of lazy bitches taking money from men. Some of them have made it into a scheme where they get pregnant with men. With children from different men or from the same guy, because they know that once they're pregnant, they can get all kinds of assistance. And now, in this day, they get child support. They get assistance with living. Right? They get help with food. They get help, they can get food stamps. They get a place to live. And then they turn around and claim your children on their taxes, and they get back exorbitant amounts of money. And this makes a very terrible situation between the mother and the father. They have a stank attitude always, and these courts back them, because what they do is, and what I found out too, recently from looking at my payment history, do you know that they take your child support payments and they charge you a fee? And whenever you late, they do interest. So now my interest on the arrears is more than the actual late payments that I make. It's nothing but all money. And the lady who I talked to told me, Mr. So-and-so, this is all about money. That's why you see that line at the bottom. Be advised that your ability to pay is a critical issue in this contempt hearing. They hold you in contempt when you violate the court order by not paying on time, or you get behind in payments. Okay, but they know that they can get money out of you when you're a good slave and you work, and they can just take your money. They know that they can get your money, so they're not really liable to throw you into jail. But it does happen to certain individuals. It never happened to me, but I've heard horror stories. Also, I've learned that they suspended my license on an occasion, right? And that was a deliverance that the Most High gave, because through going through this, I was able to get my license reinstated. I was able to get them reinstated because of those late payments. They suspend your license. And what else do they do when you have late child support payments? You young men, listen. If you were supposed to get a income tax check, you ain't gonna get it, because they're gonna intercept it. If you're supposed to get any type of stimulus check, these stimulus checks these people have been getting for the last 2 years, your bailout payments and this and that, they're going to intercept it and you're not going to get it. So just think, your income tax checks, right? They're already garnishing your wages from your job. If you're still behind, they're going to take your damn income tax check. They're going to take your stimulus check. What they're supposed to do is take the amount that you owe and then give you the rest. But if the amount that you owe is more than the checks, you ain't going to get no check, which in most cases, this is what you're facing. So think very wisely. Proceed with caution when you deal with these fucking women. And I'm going to tell you what I saw when I was in court. Now, as I got to the court, and I'm going to read this. This is Isaiah 10, verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. What is an unrighteous decree? A child support is an unrighteous decree. And these devils know that it is. This is a way to keep our people down, our men down for the most part. Because when I was in court, I saw one white guy and one white lady, and the rest were jakes. A court full of jakes being drugged. I'm sorry, being dragged, not drugged as in using drugs, but dragged to court, sucked dry, squeezed to death, right? Pressed upon for money. Money from their baby mamas, and the baby mamas was present. Now, I had never seen this before. Never been to child support court other than the initial time when I went. And I sat there and I watched, because there was a few people that went before me, you know, that had appointments after me. And what the child support court is, the family court is, you ain't in front of the judge, but you're in a courtroom, and there are several desks set up where there are women. Maybe some most time a team of 2 women with laptops, several desks with 2 women, right? 2 workers, 2 case workers, whatever you call them, 2 and 2 and 2. Kind of like how the Lord sent out the men 2 by 2 to teach. The devil sent out his workers 2 and 2 to sit there and go over your case. And they'll call the man and they'll call the woman and they talk to the woman. And these are all women. And every one of these women that I saw was all nigga women. There was one white lady there. She was so friendly, and that's who called me. And she dealt with my case. And I had talked to her on the phone a few weeks ago, and she had already now she didn't assure me, but she said 9 times out of 10, you ain't got nothing to worry about, but make sure you come to court. Even though I was still worried, because I know how Esau is. I know how his system is. You can get fucked over. So anyway, an unrighteous decree is child support, because the church is supposed to remain with the father. Really, the family is supposed to be together, but in this society, they give the woman all the rewards. And these women are whorish, and they're going to leave you. They ain't going to stay with you. After they get what they want out of you, they're going to dip. If they get unhappy at any time, if they feel like somebody else like them better, if they feel like you can get a better deal with another guy, they are going to dip, and they're going to keep you on the hook for child support, and they're going to suck you until they cannot suck you anymore. They're going to suck you dry like a spider does when he sucks the blood from one of his prey that got caught in his well. It's very similar. And they're backed by the devil. This is Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and the right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Now in this verse 2, it's talking more about wicked preachers, wicked people of the house of Israel, but you can easily use this verse 1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, is these fucking devils. And it is a bloody unrighteous decree to take a man, and even with this, you don't get to see your children the way you want to. The woman controls everything, and she grinds you and squeezes and talks shit and maneuvers and embellishes, which is lying. She makes up shit. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. And then you still deal with the aspect of she's talking in your kids' ears all the time, telling them about how you ain't no good daddy, you ain't no good father. Meanwhile, they're taking every extra penny that you got. It's a world of hell. There's no more feeling more unique than being crushed by the child support system while they bleed your pockets to death and still look down their noses at you. This is a unique situation, brothers. It's a unique situation, and it's terrible. Now, over the years, I got a whole lot better with it, and I got peace. I teach the truth. I don't really think about it, because what happens is after a while, you just work, and the money comes out of your check, and you never really miss it. You can't miss what you never had. But the old saying comes to mind, and I'll read it now. When you deal with child support, can't get blood out of a turnip. What is the meaning? It says when people say you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip, it means that you cannot get something from a person, especially money, that they don't have. So many times when you fall short of the money and they don't try to lock you up or nothing, these payments are piling up, and they're gonna squeeze and grind and suck and maneuver and backload, and they're gonna do it and maneuver until they can't do it no more, until you just owe all this money, and they're gonna come for it. So don't think you can get out of it. Now, like I said, the small deliverance was the fact that, of course, I didn't go to jail, right? I came forth with some payments. I got my license reinstated and all of that good stuff. So that's a good thing. But I still got them damn payments, but I ain't worried about it. To you younger men out there, I've been through it. There's a time where I was paying for both of the boys at the same time, and it was very hard to do. Your way of living will be sacrificed. So don't stop and think about it before you do it. Now I want to go into what I saw in court. As I'm sitting there at court and I'm watching as these different various men come through. And these are the men that are, the phrase that came to mind as I looked at the faces of these men, they were stressed out, right? They were embarrassed. They were humiliated. They were jilted men. One after the other being dragged into the court system and being pumped or grinded, or almost like how Esau sucks the oil dry from the earth. This is how they're sucking men dry, this money. And these women are very proud. They were sitting there and they just knew they was going to get money. They just knew they was going to get money, and they loved it. They loved it. They loved dragging those men there. And you could tell they're no longer in a relationship, because they had the father sitting in one place and the mother was sitting in another place. They wasn't sitting together. They were sitting apart. When you look at the word jilted, let's read it now. Right here. This is the word jilted. It says jilt.
Jilt.
Past tense, jilted. Suddenly reject or abandon a lover. Similar words: leave, walk out on, throw over, break up with. You see that? And it's known that in 80% of the marriages, the woman is the one that initiates the divorce. So many women walk out on men. And not only do they walk out on you, it's no more unique feeling when a woman walk out on you, take your child with her, get with another dude, you pay her child support, right? You giving money to a woman that you no longer have a relationship with just in order to be able to see your child. Then you don't even get to see your child. Then on top of that, she takes your money and spends it on another guy. And then another facet of it is like when you like me. My children are grown men. They no longer live in her house. They ain't with her no more. They got their own families. I got grandkids, for goodness sake. But I'm still paying their mother child support money, and they ain't benefiting from it. And she's spending the money. It's all going to her. And do you think that she was taking care of them all by herself? No, she wasn't. How many bikes did I buy? Every year, a new bike. How many sneakers? How many coats? How many video games? How many this and that did I buy? Outside of what I was giving her already. It's a terrible system. And as I looked at the face of these men, I felt sorry for them. I felt sorry for them. And I was looking at them, sitting next to them, looking at them. They looking at me. We looking at the people that's in court. The women had great joy and pleasure in the job they was doing. The men was getting sucked dry. It's terrible. What does it mean to be jilted? To cast off or reject someone, such as a lover, capriciously or unfeelingly. And this happens often. When you with the woman, she'll leave you if she find a dude making more money, she'll leave you, then take money from you because she left you to be with another guy. Now you ain't with her no more, and you got to pay for the child that you got with her. A unique situation of wickedness. And I had to chuckle to myself afterward. Number one, I was saying to myself, I should have known that Yahweh Shai was going to deliver me. But at the same time, I wasn't being presumptuous, because the Lord does, mighty things. Sometimes he'll work a situation out where you'll get locked up because there may be somebody in jail he wants you to preach to. Now, I ain't saying every time. And I'm not saying that every woman, just because you get child support, I'm not saying that you're wicked, because there are cases where the men are just assholes. They low lifes. They deadbeats, and they don't do shit. So a situation like that, I can see it. But there are so many men who do the right thing and they get taken advantage of. And I seen it. I seen it in these men's faces. And maybe that's why the Lord had me go through it. Because I really didn't suffer anything. I mean, but it was stressful. Jilted definition of a lover or spouse rejected or cast aside, especially abruptly or heartlessly. And I had that happen. And you would think that you think that when you with a woman and y'all break up, because some of the breakup I caused, being running after other girls, and I caused the breakups. And some women would use that child support as revenge, right? For the most part, when I was with my children's mother, we was together and wasn't no child support. But the minute we broke up, it was on. They was in court soon. And in some case, both my baby mothers got together, even though they were both still wanted to be with me. What did they do? They each called me on the phone while they was together and told me they was going to take all my money. I remember them saying that. And I told both of them, I told them I'd give you every penny I got just so I had to be with either one of y'all again. And, and I thought it was funny because I was a young, arrogant dude. You know what I mean? When I was in the world, I had a lot of women. And I was just a very arrogant dude. And I told them I didn't give a fuck how much money I had to give them. I said, I'd gladly give you everything I got just to get away from both of you. Needless to say, they didn't take all the money, but they did put a very heavy burden on me. And even why, and to show you the low level of how women can be, even though they gained up together and said what they was gonna do, I was still being with both of them. They both still wanted me, and they didn't want the other one to know. But needless to say, I learned my lesson from all of that. Okay, I learned my lesson from all of that, and I haven't seen either one of them women in years. But I got relationships with the boys, which are men now. But as I saw these other men, every man don't get off that easy. I got saved, delivered by Yahweh Shem Yahushua, even though I still got to pay. So what? I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter to me. I laugh at it because we got a great inheritance coming to us. But these other men that's in the world, they have no idea, and they stuck. The meaning of jilt is to cast off or reject someone, such as a lover. We read that one. So, that's pretty much it. From Cambridge, it says, having suffered someone ending a romantic relationship with you suddenly and unkindly. And a lot of times, again, these women, they set you up. You get in a relationship with you, and they just know that if they get pregnant, they got you. They got you. And they suck you dry, man. It's a terrible situation. And I felt my own self, even sitting there, I felt humiliated. I felt a little bit of it. I just was ready to get the hell out of there. And I was so relieved when I left out of there and I had my receipts. And they called the people and told them to reinstate my license and all that. I felt very relieved. So all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua for that. But don't make no mistake about it, brothers. Make no mistake about it. You are in captivity and you fucked up. You got kids out there by these women. If you got a child that's on the way, I don't give a fuck how good you and your baby mama get together. At her own whim, she can drag you into court and put a fucking pipe in your veins and suck out your damn blood in the way of money. And the court will back her on it. Let's go to Baruch. I forget which verse it is. Baruch 3. Is it? You in captivity in this joint. And don't think that you're not. Any nigga that tell you that you free, you are freely lying to yourself. Let's start at Isaiah 3. You know what? No, let's go right to the point. This is Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. And we know that the women are in captivity too, but they are in a different degree of captivity than us. Where thou hast scattered us, that we in captivity, where the Lord scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers which departed from the Lord our power. This goes into many things, but child support is definitely one of them. And I would hate to be one of you men that had to pay alimony and child support. We heard the horror stories about giving up half of what you own, giving up the house that you paid for before you met this bitch, and then just because you was with her and she your wife, you got to give her the house and you got to move out. So I haven't had to suffer that, but I'm sure there are brothers that have had to suffer the indecency of having that happen to you. But guess what? You are under the curses. This is Deuteronomy 28:64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So of course you know that we were scattered. Verse 65, and among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. And this is more than just one thing, of course, but I'm gonna use it to apply to what I've been going through. In your mind, you may know that you got this in your favor, that's in your favor, you made your payments and this and that, but you don't know when the judge, at the time I thought I was going to be seeing a judge, which I didn't have to, but you don't know when this system going to turn on you and try to make an example out of you. Sure, Yahweh Shem Shai is there, right? But in your soul, as a man in Babylon, as a so-called black man who's an Israelite in Babylon the Great, you feel the pressure from Babylon the Great. You feel the pressure from this nasty, sorry mistake of a woman that you was with, which you wouldn't even be with her now, right? If you had to do it all over again, but those are the things you do. These are the mistakes you make, and they come back on you, man. And you begin to see what these people are really like. They're soulless, venomous serpents who suck. They're heartless bastards. They're cruel. They don't give a fuck about you. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. It's just like you want to open your arm up and suck more blood out of you like a goddamn vampire, leech. This is what this system is like, and this fucking Edomite has got to pay. But these women, you women that do this shit, the Lord is going to get you. He is going to fuck you up. That's why I said I'm going to be very candid, and it's a little bit emotional. But my mind was in this state. My life was hanging in doubt, which I shouldn't have been worried about it, but I was, because we're in the flesh, man. And that show we under the curses. My life was, I was worried about it. Just for the reasons that I told you, though. Not for no other shit. It wasn't no criminal shit, but Esau loves to try to make examples. This is Jeremiah 31:22. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? Talking about what? Israel, the virgin daughter of Israel, which is the whole nation. How wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord, Yahweh, hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. How so? Women are going to be put up on a pedestal. They're going to be important. They're going to be the ones that they look to as the head, and we became the tail. They looked at as the head of the household. They put women in great esteem, and they're the same emotional, backwards thinking creatures for the most part, not in every case, but they can be very easily approached and appeased with money, with trinkets, with gifts, with sex, with promises of wealth, with other things. They can be bought off. Is it going back? Same thing as going back to the garden. If they think they can be wiser than you, they will better deal your ass as fast as you can blink. I was listening the other day to, I think it was Corey Holcomb was talking with some guys, and he was saying they was talking about the Stephen A. Smith from ESPN with Molly Querim, who used to be the wife of Jalen Rose, right? And they was saying, they was basically saying that they believe that Stephen A. Smith was smashing Molly. That's the reason why Jalen Rose and her broke up. Corey Holcomb began to say that he don't care who you are. If your wife or your lady work with a rich man, he can easily smash your wife. And then he was taking a poll and asking people what they thought. And it is very scary. I don't hardly know any women, even women in the truth. If they with a rich dude every day, they working side by side with a guy they know is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire. This man constantly throwing money at them. They may avoid it for a while, but eventually they will get weak because they don't have integrity. They lack integrity. They put themselves first. And this system helps them do that. It props them up. It's fucking sad. It's sick. But you know what? And part of the deliverance that the Lord is going to give us is going to be from these goddamn women. Not from women themselves, but from the power that they possess through this government, through this faggot ass empire. We're going to be delivered from that shit, Lord willing, soon. We know we're going to be delivered from it, but I said, Lord willing, soon. You see? The scripture told you plainly, how long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. She's looked upon as more important than you. She has worth and you don't, even though you carry the seed, Israelite man. You can create more Israelites. She can't. The buck stops with her, and whatever children she had from Israelite man, that's as far as they go. She can't bring back the nation. She don't have Israelite children swimming in her. She's just a vessel in which they travel through. And if they only understood that, they wouldn't be so fucking proud. But they'll find out. Now I'm going to read this scripture and close out. This is Isaiah 3:1. It says, the Most High will remove the leaders. For behold, the Lord of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent orator. All these things we lost when we went into captivity. The Most High removed the prominent men. He removed that leadership that we had. He removed that structure that we enjoyed, right? The men being the masculine, the head, the dominant male over the house. And he put in place fucking emotions, right? Things being done the way that they're done by a faggot ass ruler who is Esau Edom. Verse 4 says, and I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. A lot of times you come into a situation, you meet a woman, she got kids already, right? You this lady's man, but the children come before you. I gotta make sure my kids eat. I ain't put no man over my kids. Well, you're supposed to be over the kids. Regardless, the man, dad, supposed to get the big piece of chicken, not the kids. But not in this world, because those kids are her meal ticket. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. And in certain situations, your son will disrespect you. Your daughter will disrespect you as her father, but she'll listen to her mama. Let's go to another one before we shut down. Micah 7. And the people, you can get mad all you want. We don't give a shit. You can put up your punk ass opinion on the comment board, and you got something negative to say about this whole situation. You the child support, you men, fuck you. You don't know me, and I don't owe you shit. I don't know you, and I don't owe you. Micah 7:9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him. Yeah, we went off, and the Most High put us in a hellish condition, and he got us good, really good, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his his righteousness. And the Lord has done that. He's brought us to the light. He punished us for our iniquity, but he brought some of us forward to his light. And I'm so thankful that he did. And I'm glad I'm able to share this with you brothers out there. And like I said, there was a deliverance, yet I'm still, burdened with it, but it's all good. I ain't tripping. I'm not tripping. I'm much happier not being locked up behind this shit. And I even got my license back. Verse 10, then she that is mine enemy shall see it. Who's your enemy? The shameful woman, the wicked woman. Not every woman, but those who behave in that manner, the wicked woman. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Most of these women don't believe in the Most High. I'm not saying everyone. Don't come on the comment board telling me how much you believe in the Lord. We know the ones that believe and which ones don't. We see you every day. We know you believe if you do, and we know that you don't if you don't. But the ones that these are your enemies that say, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the street. We're going to see you get tread upon. And that's why you see brothers constantly say that. And you can get mad at us. Oh, all they do is talk against our sisters, our women. Well, who gives a fuck what you think? You too emotional and weak to understand. You too emotional and weak to understand. If you take this video and you try to mock it because you're against GMS and you're looking for something to say, I don't give a damn. Who are you? You're nobody. Nobody knows you. Nobody hears your voice. Nobody cares what you say. You might have a little small following, but the elect ain't gonna follow you. Doesn't matter what you say. And at the end of it all, if you got such a problem with me, you know where I'm at. You know where I'm at. And ain't nobody worried about you. Anyway, brothers, I wanted to share that. Salakia for the remnant, but I want to tell that. Now I'm telling you, brothers out there, and there are other brothers that got stories and situations just like this, man. Maybe even worse. I really feel like after all the shit I went through with this child support shit, I really feel like the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua put me in a good position. Because like I said, over the years, I really wasn't that conscious of the money even coming out because I just work. When you work and you get used to it and you don't set your life up based upon folly and you're not trying to live outside of your means, you don't really miss the money that much. But the fact that they take something from you that they shouldn't take, it does bug you. And when you look back at your payments and you look at your payment history and you see all the money that you gave, it does bug you. It does bug you. But at the end of the day, never missed a meal. Well, I take that back. There was times where when I was a young dude, I didn't have that much to eat, but I still ate. And all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua for keeping us through this shit. This child support is a scourge, and it's ruined many men. And probably brothers out there probably have lost women that you could have otherwise had if your lifestyle was better, because you couldn't afford to have a good lifestyle. But even inside of that, the Most High spared you because she wasn't for you anyway. So fuck her. Anyway, brothers, the water for listening. All praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Shalom.